welcome to another lawnfawn video. Today we are introducing our brand new stamp set, Butterfly Kisses, and its coordinating dies. So let's go ahead and check it out. First up, we have this adorable fox. We have a net for the fox to hold. We have a cute little bunny and a bear. There are a bunch of butterflies in different sizes and styles. These butterflies look so cute with these characters, and they look really cute with characters from other sets as well. We also have two clouds, and these are my new favorite clouds. I think I've been using them on every card lately. And then we have some grasses to help set the scene. We also have a cute little flower, and then a little triple set of flower for kind of helping to create a meadow. And then these great dotted lines that are perfect for showing the trails of the butterflies. We have two different sizes of smiley faces that I love adding to the two clouds. And then we have some great sentiments. So we have "You make my heart flutter," and "You make me happy." We also have "You are in my thoughts." And then we have "Sending love," and also "Sending butterfly kisses." We also have "Fluttering by to say," and then we have a bunch of phrases that works with that. We have "Thank you," "I miss you," "Have a happy day," and "Hi." You could also use the "fluttering by to say" with any of your other sentiments. So for example, fluttering by to say Happy Mother's Day would be super cute and sweet. So here I'm using my Copic markers to add some color to these cute little images, and these are my favorite colors for foxes. And with just 2 shades of marker, you can see just how beautiful he looks. I added a really light brown to his face and his tail, and then gave him a little rosy cheek and a pink ear. And then now I'm going to be coloring in the butterfly net there, and I like using some really light aquas for that net, so it kind of just blends into my skies. For the bunny, I'm using some warm grays. I also like using light browns on him too. And you'll see that I'm adding some shading there and then blending it out with my white marker. And I'm using kind of the curves of the stamp as the guide to where my shading should be. So kind of behind the ear and under the paws and around the feet. And then of course giving him some rosy cheeks. And then I'm going to repeat the same look there on the bear, this time adding more of my shadow to the right side of the bear since I added the shadow to the left side of the bunny. So I just think it looks cute together that way. So we're going to blend this guy out and make him a cute little brown bear. He's just adorable. I love him. So there I'm going to give him a little light brown belly, and then I'll also go in with a pink ear and some rosy cheeks. For my clouds, I like to use a very light blue marker, and then I blend it out with my colorless blender, so it's just got this hint of blue that gives them a little bit something extra, but we're not just leaving them plain white. And now for my butterflies, I'm going to color them in a bunch of rainbow colors here because I'm going to have the butterflies kind of going in rainbow order on my card. I think that's a really cute look. And I'm just using 2 markers for each of them. I'm putting my darkest down first and then just blending out with my light, nice and quick. And then I'll add some color to these flowers as well. So there we'll just layer these. I love that kind of bright pink of the RV 14 and 13. I just started using those markers and I think they're so pretty. So here we have the coordinating dies, which we can bend apart at the tabs or use our wire snips to separate. I'm going to take my die and line it up with my stamped image. I'll use my Post-it note tape to hold that in place. I'm going to run it through my die cut machine, and then I'm going to have a bunch of cut images, and you can see just how adorable these are. The fox can either chase the butterflies or hold the net. You can put the clouds in the air and kind of have the different butterflies landing on the critters or flying around the critters. You can see that how cute the little trail is behind the butterfly. You can put a butterfly in the net and then have the little butterflies flying above. So now it's time to make a card with this cute set, and I'm going through my Spiffy Speckles pad here to find the perfect sky paper, and I love that aqua color with all those speckles on it. And I'm going to die cut that with the largest of the small stitched rectangles. I'm also going to use that same die to die cut some Cilantro cardstock. On this cardstock, I'm going to use 2 dies. I'm going to use the Grassy Hillsides border die and also the Stitched Hillsides border die. And these both have the same type of curve. And so I'm going to cut one from the bottom of each side of the cardstock. That way I'm going to have a hill to layer behind my grass when we make a slider card. Next, I'm going to take my slide on over die out that matches that same slope of the hill. So all of these slopes all match, which is so cool. And I'm going to line that up right in my green grass. Once I have it in the perfect placement, I'll hold it in place with some low tack tape, and then I can run it through my die cut machine, and I'm going to have a slider track right there. Now, before we start creating our actual slider card, we're going to do some stamping. So I'm going to take out my Misty tool here, and I'm going to line up my sentiment. It's going to say fluttering by to say have a happy day, which I thought was really cute to go along with the kind of interactive slider element. So I'll just line those up, and then I'm going to stamp it in some Noble Fur ink. I really like the look of the darker green ink on the lighter green cardstock. It's a little bit more subtle than black ink, but I just think it looks really nice all blended together. So I'll go ahead and stamp that out. And now we can start to work on the slider. And my trick for sliders is doubled up foam. So I'm going to take my long piece of foam here, and I'm just going to double that up and stick it to itself. And now I'm going to have the double height. Once I've done that, I can take my scissors and I'm going to trim down a really thin piece, probably, a little bit smaller than 1/4 of an inch. I'm just going to trim that right off the end. And then I'm going to add a little bit of glue to the back of my fox so that I can secure that net onto him. That way he can kind of fly through the air there with his net. So, and then I'm going to use my tweezers just to hold that in place while it dries. And then here I have my penny, and that's going to be the back of my slider mechanism. And so I want to have that penny there as a guide to make sure that my foam isn't going to be in the way of the penny moving. So I'm going to create kind of a U shape with my foam here all along the edges. We've got it on the left side there, all around the back, and then now we'll do it on the other side. And then I'm going to take the penny and use that kind of as a guide. So we're going to take the penny there and have it sort of fake slide through the track. And that way I'll be able to see where else I can put some foam to add some stability. So I'm going to start my foam trail right there and kind of move my penny, move the penny, and then you'll see that the penny is going to kind of start hitting the foam right around there. So I'm just going to trim off any of the excess, and then I'll have a little more support there on that left side, which is really nice. Now for my actual penny, I'm going to use some tripled up foam. And that's because the first time I made this, he was getting caught in the grass a little bit. So by tripling up the foam, it gave him a little more height and he's going to slide perfectly that way. So I've got my triple foam there. And then what I'm going to do is just use the scissors there. And we're just going to trim off a piece that's about the width of that track. And then I can just trim it down to fit right onto that penny, just like that. Now, if you don't have a penny or anything, you could always try using a washer. I think that could work really well too. We're going to attach that foam to the penny and then take out our powder tool. You could also use some baby powder with a paintbrush, and we're just going to run that all along the edges of that piece of foam. And that's going to remove any excess stickiness that might be on the outer edges of that foam so that it moves really, really well in that slider track. We'll also do the same thing to the back of this piece here. So we'll run it all along the foam and also in the track too. That helps it move even faster and it glides so well that way. So now we're going to take the penny and we're going to put it in the back there. We can peel off that liner paper and then we can attach our fox right to that. So we'll take that fox there and we're just going to layer him right on there. Now once we've done that, we're going to already have this cute sliding fox. So the next step then is creating the back to this so that that green is going to show through the track, kind of making the eye not see the track as much. So we're going to use that same hill there. We use the die to cut it, but you could also freehand cut this back part because no one's going to see it. So we're just going to layer that right along the back. And now when you look through the track, you see the same green and it helps that track blend into the card. Here is some of the really rainbow scallops paper. I love this rainbow scallop so much. And we're going to trim that down to 5.5 by 4.25 and also create a card base out of some spiffy speckles paper. So this is going to be really pretty because when you open the card, it's going to be green on the inside. So then we're just going to take some tape runner, run that all along that pretty rainbow scalloped paper and layer that right onto the card base. Then next we can start to layer all of our other pieces. So we're going to take that blue sky rectangle that we cut earlier and we'll layer that right on top. And then we can take the whole slider mechanism, add some adhesive to the back of that and layer that onto the sky. Next, it's time to form the scene. So we're going to take those clouds and layer them in the background. And then we can start to layer all of those cute little butterflies, creating this cool rainbow effect. And now you can see the amazing and fun little slider effect. I love seeing him run across the grass, trying to catch the butterflies, but not catching them. It's just absolutely adorable. And then here I wanted to show you a version I made of this card that actually didn't have a slider mechanism. So you can take an idea that you already have and either add an interactive element or remove it, depending on how much time you have to make a card. And then also I just had to show you the inside of this card here. It's got this cute little pop-up butterfly, and we'll have the video for that pop-up butterfly up a little later today. Now it's time to create a clean and simple card with this stamp set. So we're going to die cut some white cardstock with a stitched rectangle. We're also going to use an outside in stitched circle die. And what this is going to do is it's going to create a circle opening that has a beautiful stitch detail on it. So we're going to run that through our die cut machine and we'll have this cool little window. Next, we've layered some white cardstock behind that circular window as a guide, and we have a simple Grassy Hillsides die there, and we're going to line that up exactly where we want it, run it through the die cut machine, and now we can start to do some inking. So we're going to use some Distress Oxide inks in Twisted Citron and also Broken China to create our grass and our sky. And we're just going to be using one color on each piece, just building that color up, and you'll see just how pretty that looks. So it's nice and simple, but it really gives this beautiful sky and grass look. Then to add a little extra texture, we're going to take a distress spray bottle here, any kind of spray bottle would work, and we're going to spray some water onto these pieces. The water will react with the ink, creating this really cool texture. And then we're just going to heat it up with our heat gun to let that dry. Then we can take our grass and layer that onto the sky. So that was a super quick way to create a really cool custom sky and grass look. Next, we're going to be using the fancy wavy banners die, and we're going to die cut some white cardstock and some pink cardstock. And this banner die is really cool because it creates this cool little frame and then a little piece that you can lay on the inside. Just love how they look layered together. Next, we can attach that sky and grass to our standard size card base and then add a bunch of foam tape to the back of that circle piece that we cut earlier, and we can layer that right on top of the sky. And by adding that foam, it really creates this cool kind of window shadow box effect. Next, we're going to stamp the "You Make My Heart Flutter" sentiment right onto that small banner. We're also going to use the stitched wavy banner that's in that same die set to cut a base here, and we can layer the two pieces on top. They're the same size so that you can layer all these pieces. So we're going to layer that frame, and then we can drop in that banner that we stamped. Then we can add some foam squares to the back of that and layer that right onto the card. Now it's time to add our cute stamped and die cut images to the card, and we're going to do a mix of foam squares and also flat adhesive to kind of give some great dimension. We're also going to layer some of these pieces behind the grass and in front of the grass, and also behind the banner or coming out from the sides of the circle. And this really makes it look like the scene extends far beyond the card, and it really gives it a really cool look, like you're looking at a little snapshot of this cute little scene of the bunny in the grass. And I love the layers of flowers and grasses everywhere. It's just so gorgeous. And so here you can see the finished card. I think this card would make anybody's day. We were in an interactive card mood, so we're going to be making a scalloped box card pop-up card next with this set. This is one of my favorite interactive dies. So we're going to be die cutting the main box card piece from some spring fling paper, and I love this paper so much, it's so pretty. So we're going to die cut that twice, and then we're going to work on die cutting some of the inserts. What's really great about the scallop box card pop-up is that you can use the inserts from the shadow box cards in there. So they all mix and match with each other. So these are the inserts from the new Park Shadow Box add-on and the new Spring Shadow Box add-on. And so we're going to be die cutting the grass and the flowers out of some of that more of that spring fling paper in the green color. We're also going to layer on a bunch of little die cut flowers. Those come in the die set as well, and you can layer those right on top in pinks, yellows, and blues. These little inserts, the die has a little score line on them, so you're going to fold along that score line on either side, creating tabs. Then we'll add some of the new 1/4-inch double-sided tape to each of those tabs on each of these little inserts. Once that's all done, we can start to work on the box. So we need to start folding along the score lines that the die created for us in the box as well. So there's vertical score lines and there's also some horizontal score lines. So we'll go ahead and fold against all of those and reinforce them with our bone folder so that they're nice and sharp. Next, we'll add some more of that 1/4-inch tape there to the two tabs. We're going to peel up the adhesive on one of the tabs and we're going to attach the two pieces together, creating one long piece. And we'll flip the whole thing over and we'll start adding in our inserts. So we're going to add the inserts onto one of the shorter sides there. We're going to lay that up, lining it up with that horizontal score line. So we're just going to peel off the liner paper on one of the tabs and line those up right along that line. And we're going to space them about evenly on that short little piece there. Then we can go ahead and fold them over just like that. and we're going to form our box. By forming our box when it's completely flat, it'll make sure that the box will fold flat in the end. So we're going to fold that piece over, and then we can peel up the liner paper and fold that piece like this. Now you'll see that we have a three-dimensional box with these cute little inserts in there, but the box still folds flat really, really well. The Scallop Boxcard pop-up die also has these cool little rectangles that help you decorate all of the edges. So we've die cut that from some really rainbow scallops paper and also some of the spring fling paper, and we're going to layer all of those pieces onto the box, decorating the edges. We'll also be decorating the back panel of the box, creating a sky with that really cool scalloped pattern. Next, we're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut a little slit between the paws in the fox. And this is so that he can hold the net. So you'll see there, if you cut a little slit just like that, you could add a little glue to the back, and then you can tuck that net right between his paws, and it's a really, really cute look. Then we can start to take all of our characters and add them into the box. So we're adding a little bit of liquid glue right along the bottom, and then we can layer them in front of and behind the different grasses and flowers. So in this case with the fox, we're going to layer it right behind those flowers. We're also going to give that bunny that little flower to hold, which looks really, really cute. And then we can start to layer him inside as well. And by layering things front to back, it's really going to give it some great dimension. These box cards are so much fun to make. So we're going to keep going along and adding in our characters, and then adding in a bunch of the little grasses and flowers too. We can layer some clouds in the background to kind of help set the scene, and then we're going to be working on creating some really cool kind of flying dimension, and we're going to do that with some acetate. So we're going to trim down some acetate in our paper trimmer to really thin strips. Then what you can do is just use glue dots to add those tiny little butterflies to the ends of those acetate strips. Then I like adding a little glue dot to the very bottom of the acetate, and you can add them into this box. Then it's going to look like those butterflies are flying around in the air. It's such a cool, cool look. Next, we're going to do some white heat embossing onto a stitched banner. So we're going to stamp in some clear ink. We can sprinkle that powder on and then heat it up with our heat tool to have a nice, bright, white, shiny sentiment. Then we can take that banner and layer that onto the front panel that hangs down, and we'll go ahead and stamp the fluttering by to say right above, which is so super cute. And then we'll take some die cut butterflies and layer those onto the side panels to add a little extra decoration, and also right underneath the sentiment, which I think it's so cute to have those butterflies just everywhere. And then here is the finished card. How cute is that? It folds flat, fits in a standard envelope, and then it pops open to create this amazing, beautiful three-dimensional scene. This is absolutely adorable. Oh my goodness. So next up, we have some amazing cards by the design team. First, we have a beautiful card by Lizzie, and I love how she used that stitched windy backdrop in the background. This card by Megan is absolutely incredible. It's a double slider, and she's combined this set with extra special Easter to create the cutest little scene. This card by Elena is so beautiful. I love the stitched oval framing her adorable scene with that fox chasing the butterflies. Here, Shari created a really cool little terrarium ornament, which would be such a sweet hostess gift. Here's the card by Elise that inspired us to make our card today. Thank you so much, Elise. And then this card by Kay is so sweet. I love how she used the leafy tree backdrop with these adorable little bunnies and bears. This card by Letitia is so gorgeous. I love the look of the little trail coming out from behind of the butterflies. And then here, Megan created a really cool reveal wheel where the butterflies can go fly into the net. This card by Nicole is so beautiful. Here's the front of the card, and when you open it up, you get this great stitched hillside pop-up scene. She also used acetate on her butterflies to have them look like they were flying in the air. Here is a scallop box card pop-up by Melissa. I love her scene so much. It's so cute and happy. This card by Audrey is absolutely gorgeous. I love that sky she created. Her inking is just beautiful. And then here we have a gorgeous card by Elise, and I love how she used the new straight flower border in the background. It's a perfect scene for these cute critters. And then here Yanea got super creative and used the stitch circles to create little vignettes and scenes for the 3 different characters. And then here is this awesome new magic picture changer created by Jen. So I cannot wait to see what you guys do with Butterfly Kisses, so make sure to share it with us. Thank you so much for watching today, and have an absolutely amazing day. Bye!